always was a good thief.
That you was. Yeah, get out of here.
The many miles we walk, the many things we learn, the building of a shrine, only just to burn. That's the way it is. That's the way it is.
Oh, you're a good man. I just wish you'd done it before he worked himself into the grave.
Really sorry for your son. It's a hell of a thing.
And all you can do now is decide the man you want to be for the time you have left.
May the wind be at your back. Good fortune touch your hand. May the cards lay out a straight, all from your command. That's the way it is. That's the way it is.
You saved my life. You're a good man. Thank you, fella. You know, there ain't enough kindness in this world, that's for sure.
Maybe it's a sign, Arthur. Try to do the good thing.
Shine light into darkness. Shine light into darkness.
It's been 7 years since the game broke not just me, but the gaming community as a whole. Safe to say, I don't think anyone who played it truly recovered. Tears were shed over a fictional character we connected with from beginning to end. As a gamer, I've bonded emotionally with many characters. Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid, Nathan Drake from Uncharted, Joel and Ellie from The Last of Us and Nico Bellic from GTA 4, and of course John Marston from Rockstar's own Red Dead Redemption. All of them helped me through difficult times in my life, but there's one character who surpasses them all. His name is Arthur Morgan. Going into Red Dead Redemption 2, I wasn't expecting Arthur to connect with me this deeply. His death hit me harder than I could have imagined. It made me cry, like so many others. Very few studios can pull that off. Strangely, I didn't cry when John Marston died, even though I related to him. I've always liked Rockstar's characters, but in the past, I never loved them. For me, the focus was on gameplay and exploring worlds, not just getting attached to their protagonists. That changed with Nico Bellic and John Marston, who brought more depth and showed why Rockstar is in another league of its own. Still, nothing prepared me for Arthur Morgan. At the time, I thought if I didn't cry when John died, how could Rockstar possibly top that? Red Dead 2 proved me wrong. They gave Arthur a journey of redemption that made him unforgettable. For context, this was my third playthrough. I had two goals: gather gameplay footage for this video and see if Arthur's story would still hit me as hard as it did for the first time. Honestly, I spent more time hunting and fishing than recording, just getting lost in the game's beauty and sense of exploration. To no one's surprise, it hit me just as hard. It felt like stepping back into 2018, reliving that first journey all over again. Replaying this game for a third time, Nothing about Arthur has changed. He still hits just as hard. This game made me feel every emotion possible. I laughed during the bar mission with Lenny. I felt Arthur sorry watching his friends die. I felt anger seeing Dutch turn on the gang, and when I learned Micah was the rat. But most of all, I felt sadness after Arthur's death. Even now, it still brings tears to my eyes. I'll just say it. I don't think we'll ever see another video game character like Arthur Morgan again. At the very least, no one will even come close.
What is it?
It's not good news.
I guess that.
You got tuberculosis.
Early in the game, Arthur Morgan looks like the typical rockstar outlaw, violent, sharp-witted, loyal only to the gang. But almost immediately, I realized he wasn't the dirtbag gunslinger I expected to see in the Wild West. His humor hooks me.
And there's talk of hanging him.
Here's open. Arthur, what?
And as the story unfolded, the hidden layers he tries to bury begin to show. Yes, Arthur uses violence to achieve his goals, even when it isn't strictly necessary. But that's Dutch's influence. Dutch took him in at 15 and alongside with Hosea, shaped Arthur's worldview, his vocabulary, and his identity.
Vengeance is an idiot's game.
Still, you can sense that Arthur is conflicted. He'll throw himself in front of a bullet for his gang, but outside that circle, he struggles to help others without justifying his actions through force or threats.
Oh, there's Tilly over there. That does not look ideal.
Excuse me. Get your hands off of her. Who are you?
A friend of mine.
Get the hell off of her, you son of a bitch.
That tension comes to a breaking point in the money lending and other sins missions. On the surface, they seem like simple chores, collect debts for Strauss, but Rockstar intentionally uses these side missions to expose Arthur's conscience. At first, he rationalizes the work, but his journal tells another story. Her Strauss is back lending money, and I'm back collecting it. The work mostly revolts me and shames me. Somehow robbing people honestly with a gun and fists is less repellent than robbing them fully in accordance with the law. It'll be the usual sort of desperados, sick farmers, pregnant maids, lovesick young men, and other dupes desperate enough and stupid enough to take Strauss's terms. A usurer's life may be a comfortable one, but it is foul work. Even while doing Strauss's dirty jobs, Arthur writes about his discomfort. By the time you see him snap at Strauss, the frustration is written all over his face. The Downs family is where everything changes. Arthur contracts tuberculosis from Thomas Downs. His path of redemption begins. Seeing Edith Downs reduced to prostitution in Annesburg shatters him, especially when she admits her shame at what she had to do to protect her son. Arthur recognizes that he is the reason for their suffering, and for once, instead of justifying it, he tries to make amends. He saves Edith and Archie from darker fate and gives them money to start fresh. When Archie thanks him, Arthur refuses to accept it, not out of humility, but because it hurts too much. Deep down, he knows they wouldn't be in this position if not for him.
Start over. Here, take this. I don't need it no more.
I don't want your money.
Yeah, I know you don't want it.
I don't.
You sure as shit need it. Take it.
No.
I ain't looking for forgiveness. It ain't about that. But don't forgive me. Just take the money and get out of here, please. I know I ruined your life. I suffer for it every day. But don't let yourself get killed for pride. I seen it kill too many folk. Don't say anything. Don't thank me. Just take the money and pack your bags. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan.
I said don't thank me. Get out of here. Please.
Rockstar even doubles down on this theme with Arthur Londonderry. Depending on the order you play, you meet his grieving widow and child, paralleling Arthur's own loss of a son. No matter your honor level, Arthur will always cancel the debt, and if you look at his face, you can see the pain. By this point, he understands that his justifications for Strauss's work were empty. He finally sees the cost of his violence, and it leaves a deeper scar than any bullet wound.
Arthur's dead.
I know. I'm sorry for it. It's just... we lent Arthur some money, you see, and...
So it was you. You son of a bitch. much. What do you want now? You want my boy's shoes? You want the food out of our bellies, what little there is? You want me to lie down for you?
No.
Arthur gave everything to pay your bills. Everything. And now there's some fellas coming to take the house. There ain't nothing left, mister!
I just wanted to say the debt's canceled and here, take this. It won't bring your husband back, I know. You need money and I don't.
Well, you're a good man. I just wish you'd done it before he worked himself into the grave. But you know, maybe you and your friend that lent him the money could do things differently. Like not threaten a man. Excuse me.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I really am.
When Arthur encounters John Withers and his pregnant wife, he watches a family on the edge of losing everything. All they have left is a single trinket, a fragile reminder of the life they're trying to build. In that moment, Arthur finally breaks. He damns the debt, refuses to take anything from them, and does what he wishes he could have done all along. Show compassion instead of violence.
Damn the debt. Just get her somewhere safe. Go on.
Thank you, fella. You know, there ain't enough kindness in this world, that's for sure. But you...
I don't know nothing about kindness.
It's a small act, but a loving one, and it sets the stage for the confrontation with Strauss. By the time Arthur faces him, he's no longer the man who carried out these collections without question. He is a man who understands the weight of his choices, and he won't let Strauss prey upon the desperate ever again.
Ah, how did you get on, Mr. Morgan?
Just dandy. Just... get up.
What?
Get up!
What is wrong?
Nothing's wrong. Nothing at all.
What are you doing?
Something I should have done a long time ago. Get your bag. Is this it?
I don't understand.
I ain't gonna kill you, though I probably should. You disgust me. And you shame us. If we could be shamed any more than we already are, that should do. Go!
I don't understand you. What are you doing?
Go and get a job!
You know, they say the sick delude themselves. I was your friend.
You and me, we ain't decent. But those folk, they was. Now here, take that. Take that and get lost!
I'm
leaving. Now! Who amongst you is with me? And who is betraying me?
The debt collecting and the loan sharking may have sparked Arthur's redemption, but I would argue the real turning point came from the collapse of Dutch's code. As the gang began to fracture, Arthur finally saw things clearly. As tragic as it was to watch his family fall apart, it was Dutch's fall into madness that freed Arthur Morgan. Dutch's plan stopped making sense. Tahiti, Saint Denis, Cornwall, every scheme grew more desperate. Worst of all, he abandoned his own principles. This was the man who once said, "Revenge is a fool's game." Yet he began killing out of spite. Watching Dutch unravel was painful, but for Arthur, it was the moment he realized he couldn't keep following blindly. One character I think is criminally underrated in this arc is Charles Smith. He quietly guided Arthur towards seeing the truth. Charles even described Arthur's tuberculosis as a gift because it stripped away his survivor's mentality and it forced him to think about what really mattered.
I didn't tell you before, but I saw a doctor. It's pretty bad. It's gonna get worse.
Oh, Arthur. Any day we can die, We're riding to break an Indian chief's son out of a cavalry fort. We could both die tonight. In a way, it is a gift to know. In a way, you were lucky.
Sure don't feel like that.
You still have time to make amends. The others, Hosea, Lenny, Sean, all them, they didn't. And what about the Calendar boys? Both killed trying to escape Blackwater? A more vicious pair of bastards than ever was. And that's all they ever were and will be.
Now, some might argue Arthur can't escape being a bad man because of the things he's done, but Rockstar made that tension deliberate by introducing Micah Bell, Arthur's mirror opposite. While Arthur hurt people to protect his family, Micah hurt people purely for himself. We're talking about a man who tore through an entire city just to retrieve his guns, and had no problem selling out the gang to the Pinkertons to save his own skin. Micah embodies what Arthur could have been if he hadn't changed.
Not all you boys have quite so many scruples. Old Micah Bell.
Micah, you mean Molly?
Molly O'Shea? Sweated her a couple of times, never talked a word, had to let her go. Micah Bell. We picked him up when you boys came back from the Caribbean, and he's been a good boy ever since.
Rockstar even hints at this through the game's honor system. On my first run, I caused chaos in Valentine, shot a sheriff by mistake, and came back to camp with a bounty. Characters like Mary, Beth, and Tilly actually confronted Arthur about it. He doesn't hide behind bravado, he admits his sins. That small detail shows us that Rockstar wanted you to question the path Arthur was walking. By the end, Arthur's survivor's mentality is gone. He stops caring about money and starts using it to help people. He rushes headfirst into situations that could kill him, not because of orders, but because he finally believes in doing the right thing, even for strangers. This is where Charles' influence shines. He never let Arthur dismiss the humanity he tries to bury under Dutch's teachings.
Where did they take him?
Ain't no business of ours. I don't even speak their language.
You ain't as tough and dense as all that. Come on, Arthur.
What's going on with you?
What do you mean?
You were just going to send that woman and her children on their way?
We're wanted men. We got Pinkertons breathing down our necks. We should be moving camp, not running off on some wild goose chase.
Come on, Arthur. That's not how you are.
Charles saw past the outlaw facade, and time after time, Arthur proved him right, letting Mickey hug him, saving the German family, protecting those who can't protect themselves. Even earlier, Arthur retrieves a man's horse that had broken free from a wagon in Valentine, despite knowing he and the gang would gain nothing in return. What I find fascinating is the contrast between Arthur's actions and his words. He repeatedly insists he isn't a good man, yet he does good deeds for complete strangers. Even when Tilly tells him she's proud of the man he's becoming, Arthur retreats into his hardened exterior. In the end, though it's fitting that the same German family he once helped would return the kindness, saving him when he was left to die in a forest, Arthur Morgan learns that goodness isn't a weakness, and Rockstar shows us that in this world of Red Dead Redemption 2, good deeds don't just matter, they save you.
Sie haben uns gerettet, als wir wirklich Hilfe brauchten.
On my first run during my time helping Chief Rainsford, I wondered if at some point a younger Dutch had the same mentality, but with Micah's negative influence, good deeds came with ulterior motives that only benefited Dutch's survival. It was also Charles who points out the elephant in the room that haunted the gang since Blackwater. He brings up a recurring theme, a theme of outlaws thinking what they need to do is get more money, but the gang kept killing and killing, leaving even more bodies and destruction in their wake, thinking they would fix everything.
All this death, and for what? Just so we can have enough money to be able to run away from what we've done?
Arthur unfortunately realized it too late, but it forces him to distance himself from the gang and to help others escape. A character that most people forget about is Kieran, who made an excellent point about the gang and the O'Driscolls.
You know, you all ain't that different from the O'Driscolls.
What did you just say? Us then. How are we like those mongrel dogs?
You're outlawed like them. You're out to survive like them. You live rough. You live hard. Fighting the law. Nature. You're out for yourselves.
See? This is why you're an O'Driscoll, O'Driscoll. You're out to survive. We're out to live. Free. Colin's a sneak thief and a killer. Dutch is Dutch is more like a teacher.
Although Como Driscoll treated his men like a number, while Dutch treated everyone in the gang like a family, but their goals were the same. Hosea also hit the nail on the head in Chapter 2 after the Valentine massacre by saying they ain't even got the delusion of being nothing but a bunch of killers.
This is lying low. Turned into a bunch of killers, I mean it. We ain't even got the delusion of being anything but a bunch of killers.
It's unclear exactly when Dutch began to unravel, but I like to think the turning point came off-screen during the failed Blackwater heist. Through dialogue with other gang members, we learned Dutch shot an innocent woman, something that even Hosea, his oldest friend, was shocked by. That single act echoes throughout the story and plants the first doubts in Arthur's mind. As the game progresses, those doubts grow. What should have been a simple ransom with Angelo Bronte ends in a needless execution. In Guarma, Dutch kills an elderly woman in cold blood, and by the time Levicticus Cornwall is gunned down, seeing Dutch's gleeful celebration, Arthur can no longer deny that the man he once idolized has changed for the worst.
You sure? Good. I prefer it this way.
You've lost your man! Noise, Arthur! Noise!
Arthur also begins to see Dutch's loyalty fading. John Marston calls it out after the bridge job, and soon after, Dutch leaves Arthur behind without hesitation. That betrayal is the breaking point. For Arthur, it's the moment he finally accepts that the Dutch he believed in is gone forever. It was heartbreaking to watch a gang as close as family fall apart under Dutch's crumbling code. Every time I replay that moment when Arthur, Hosea and Dutch go fishing, it makes me sad to see what once was and how everything eventually turned out. If Arthur hadn't witnessed this breakdown, it's likely that the gang would have died off much earlier. Dutch's obsession with his own rules cost lives. Molly was killed for nothing, and the tragic irony was even Grimshaw would succumb to the same fate. One of the major themes of the story is the arrival of civilization. By the time the gang reaches Saint Denis, America is changing, industrialized, modernized, leaving no room for outlaws. Arthur realizes this as early as Chapter 2, telling John that their kind is a relic of the past. Unlike Dutch, Arthur comes to accept it. He knows gangs like theirs are being hunted into extinction. Even though his realization has come too late, Arthur chooses to use the little time he has left to save the people he loves most. Dutch, however, blinds himself with the fantasy of Tahiti. That blind chase costs him dearly, as he watches a man he once considered a son die right in front of him. In that moment, Dutch, the master of fiery speeches, falls silent. And that silence speaks louder than anything he could have said. For me, it felt like he was finally hearing Hosea's warnings echo in his head. And when Arthur reveals Micah's betrayal, Dutch can no longer ignore the truth. His departure isn't victory, it's heartbreaking, weighed down by the crimes he knows can never be undone. Despite Dutch's downfall and eventual betrayal of Arthur and the gang, Arthur stayed loyal until the very end, not out of denial but out of the love for the men he once knew. Seeing Dutch walk away from Micah felt like Arthur's last victory, proof that he managed to break Micah's hold on him. In that moment, Arthur Morgan's mission was complete.
We can make it. Come on, Dutch. Come on! Ah!
One of the most surprising relationships in Red Dead Redemption 2 is actually between Arthur and John. Early on, Arthur's resentment towards John is clear. He's furious that John abandoned the gang, but even more furious that he left Abigail and Jack behind. For someone Arthur once respected, it was shocking to see the family man from the first game treating his loved ones so poorly, refusing to listen to Abigail, and even questioning Jack's place in his life. Arthur calls him out after the fishing trip with Jack, and the reason he's so hard on John becomes clearer when we remember Arthur's own past. He lost Eliza and his son Isaac, and deep down, he's projecting his own tragedy onto John. Arthur sees a man throwing away the very thing he no longer has, a family. Over time, John begins to change. He recognizes his failures and starts to rebuild his relationship with Abigail. Through Arthur's guidance, he slowly becomes the family man he was always meant to be. And as Dutch falls further into madness, both Arthur and John see the signs, forcing them to make a choice.
I feel like you should take your woman and child and get lost.
Do you?
You could give something to Jack. It's that or... Well, I don't see no way out of this.
What about loyalty?
Be loyal to what matters.
What are you gonna do?
I'll be okay, but do it for me. It would make me feel good, if that makes any sense.
A little, but...
Listen to me. When the time comes, you gotta run and don't look back. This is over.
Arthur never saved his own family, but he makes sure John saves his. In Arthur's final moments, he finds peace, not in his own survival, but in pushing John towards a future with Abigail and Jack.
We ain't both gonna make it. Go. Now, I'll hold them off. It would mean a lot to me. Please. Ain't no more time for talk. Go.
Arthur.
Go to your family.
Arthur!
Get the hell out of here and be a goddamn man.
You're my brother.
I know.
Tragically, we know from Red Dead Redemption that John never fully heeds Arthur's advice. He returns to the life he left behind, and it ultimately leads him to his grave. Arthur gave John a chance, but John's refusal to let go shows just how heavy the cycle of violence is in the world that Rockstar created. I think it's safe to say that most players, myself included, see Sister Calderon as Arthur Morgan's true moral checkpoint. Some may choose Swanson, and I get that, he's part of the gang, but because of his addiction to morphine and alcohol, I never felt he was in the right place to guide Arthur. Still, both Swanson and Calderon reached the same conclusion about him, that Arthur Morgan is more than the outlaw he pretends to be. For me, Sister Calderon is the best judge of Arthur. Even though she hasn't known him for long, she notices the man he really is, someone who smiles, who helps others, even when he tries to hide behind a hardened exterior. She plays an existential role because she helps Arthur see a new path that wasn't clear to him before. Another moment that really stood out to me was their conversation in Saint Denis, when Arthur admits he's an outlaw. Calderon surprises him by confessing that she too has done some bad things, and that it took her a long time to face her own sins before finding faith.
You know, a long time ago, I was like you.
I very much doubt that.
Oh, no, I did terrible things, awful things. And I could not stop doing terrible things because I did not believe that goodness existed. And then one day, I saw that love did exist. And ever since then, doing bad things became, well, not impossible, but ridiculous.
It's one of those few times Arthur meets someone who truly understands redemption from both sides. Later during their meeting at Emerald Ranch, when Arthur insists she doesn't know him, her response cut through. It isn't the end that defines a man, but the journey. That single line captures everything about Arthur Morgan's story. Then comes the moment that broke me.
Perhaps you could help somebody. Helping makes you really happy.
But I still don't believe in nothing.
Often, neither do I.
Huh?
But then I meet someone like you, and everything makes sense.
You're too smart for me, sister. I guess I'm afraid.
Arthur, a man who lived his life as a hardened outlaw, admit he's afraid. Hearing that vulnerability in his voice hit me harder than any gunfight or betrayal. For the first time, Arthur showed his true feelings to someone he barely knows. And that's why I will always choose Sister Calderon's questline over Swanson's. With her guidance, Arthur finds clarity, takes a gamble that love exists, and decides to use what time he has left for an act of compassion. Another hurdle Arthur has to overcome isn't just admitting he's a good man, it's allowing himself to be open about his feelings. If you pay attention throughout the story, characters like Tilly, Mary Beth, or Karen often notice when Arthur is struggling, and he responds with surprising honesty.
I've been bad. I've been killing animals just for the hell of it.
That's it.
Well, also killed a bunch of innocent folk. I don't know why.
What's wrong with you, Arthur?
Chief Rainsfall is a perfect example of someone who sees the real Arthur Morgan. Arthur has done terrible things, yet Rainsfall recognizes the good men beneath the outlaw, someone willing to help his tribe when he doesn't have to. Arthur even admits to Rainsfall that he once had a family who were tragically murdered, a deeply personal confession he shares with almost no one.
You know, I had a son once, years ago. Don't talk about him much.
No, what was his name?
Isaac. His mother, Eliza, was a waitress I met. When she got pregnant, she knew who I was, what my life was. I didn't want to promise nothing I couldn't keep, but I said I'd do right by them. Every few months, I'd stop by there for a few days. He was such a good kid. She was too, I guess. Just a kid, 19.
What happened?
I got there one day and saw two crosses outside. I knew right away. Turned out some bastards had come through. Robbed them. Shot them dead. And offered $10. It hardened me. Feeling that kind of pain. But I know now that you don't get to live a bad life and have good things happen to you.
I think you're being hard on yourself.
Rainsfall tells him plainly that he's too hard on himself, reminding Arthur that a man's worth is not just his mistakes, but his values as a whole. Arthur respects Rainsfall as a leader in a way he never came to respect Dutch. Where Dutch resorts to violence and manipulation, Rainsfall seeks peace, knowing more bloodshed will breed more suffering. That contrast comes to a head when Arthur sees Dutch exploit the native tribes as pawns in his feud with the army. Arthur is furious, and for the first time, he goes behind Dutch's back to limit the destruction.
You help this fella, Arthur?
Please. What of it?
What else you been doing behind Dutch's back?
What?
The wars are over. We have lost. These young men will be annihilated. Please.
I'll see what I can do. Charles? Who else will come with me?
Oh, all right, Arthur. Who knows what other secrets I'll learn about? Who else?
What makes Arthur so compelling is that he doesn't care about what's normal for his time. He helps suffragists fight for their right to vote. He supports Sadie Adler's transformation from a grieving widow to a fearless gunslinger. Even when Arthur's words slip into old habits, his actions prove his respect. Sadie Adler calls him the only good man she's known.
Aside from my Jake, you're the best man I've known.
I know the company you keep. The competition ain't too fierce.
And then there's the horse. Arthur never saw horses as tools. He saw them as companions. When his horse dies in the chaos in his final ride to save John, Arthur takes the time in his last moments of breath and strength to thank it. If you've been riding the same horse since the start, that goodbye is nothing short of heartbreaking. It's a reminder that Arthur's humanity extended to everyone and everything around him, even in his final hours.
Come on, brother. Let's go.
Give me a second.
Come on. Push, Arthur.
So, what's the verdict on Arthur Morgan? In my opinion, he was a good man, but one who could never fully escape his sins. And maybe there isn't a right or wrong answer, which I think was Rockstar's intention all along. When I look at Arthur's journey as a whole, I see a man shaped by his environment. He lost his mother young, watched his father die, and was raised by outlaws. Given that, it's no wonder why he chose the life he did. Even John admits when he runs into Mickey later on that it was hard to say what Arthur really was, and maybe that's the point. Arthur wasn't meant to be defined by a single word, but by the choices he made trying to become something better.
He was good and bad, and it's hard to say quite what he was in the end.
I've seen some people argue that you can't be truly evil as Arthur, that he's too good no matter the choices you make, but I think that misses Rockstar's point. The game isn't about being good or evil, it's about who you choose to become with the path you've given. That's why the symbolism of the deer and the wolf matters so much. The deer represents purity, guidance, and renewal, the part of Arthur that seeks redemption and peace despite his violent past. The wolf, on the other hand, symbolizes survival, predation, and the darker side of man, the part bound to Dutch's gang and the endless cycle of violence. If you follow the low honor path, Arthur doesn't rise above his past, he succumbs to it. The wolf isn't evil, it's primal, inevitable, and the game uses that to judge not only Arthur, but us as players. I've played the game 3 times and I still can't bring myself to do a low honor run. The low honor version of That's the Way It Is genuinely makes me uncomfortable. The ticking in the background feels like a clock counting down his life and ours, making us face the guilt of every choice we made. But what really defines Arthur isn't how he dies, it's how others remember him. Characters like Hamish and Charlotte, who only knew him briefly, speak of him with warmth and gratitude. And when you play as John later, visiting people Arthur helped, you feel how much his kindness changed their lives.
I think you knew a friend of mine, a fella called Arthur Morgan. Came by and helped you with some hunting and skinning probably 7 or 8 years back.
Yes, of course. I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for him.
Unfortunately, he passed soon after.
I figured he might not have had long left. Such a shame. He found me at my lowest point and he lifted me up.
A caller, John Marston. Years ago, a friend of mine helped you retrieve your horse and your leg.
Oh, yeah. Come on in. Arthur, wasn't it?
That's the one. He, passed soon after that.
Sorry to hear that.
I was reading through his journal. Thought I'd pay you a call.
And I'm grateful for it. It's nice to meet you. He was a kind man to me.
I even find it funny seeing some people online laugh at those who cried during Arthur's death, only to admit they teared up too. That says everything about what Rockstar achieved here. They didn't just create a video game protagonist, they created a character who transcends the medium. Arthur Morgan isn't just Rockstar's best creation, he's one of the most human characters ever written. And for that, we owe a massive thanks to Roger Clark, whose performance made Arthur real enough for all of us to mourn.